Today we'll be beginning lesson 6 in our book, Introduction to Video Game Design by Michael Plore. So the Ugly Furniture Organization, it likes the game we made in lesson 5, but it would like to see if meteors can be split into smaller meteors, and it wants to increase the randomness of the meteor movement. So we're going to end up just modifying our game from lesson 5. First thing we're going to do is we're going to increase the randomness of the meteors as they're produced. So we're going to, we have our game maker, and we just go into our meteor object, and we have our create, we have our move direction. We only had 3 directions, so if we pick any directions, they can go in any directions. So we'll do this, hit OK. For all 3 meteor sizes. Hit OK, hit OK. So that was pretty easy. And then we can test the game. We'll see that it becomes very difficult for how we have this. So we're going to want to move the UFO into the middle of the room, and we're going to want to set the speed to 5 so that it slows down so that we can see how to play it. So let's go ahead. We'll hit File, Save. All right, so we play the game. Let's see if it's really that difficult. Whoa. So there's 1 life. Yep, so they're popping up behind me. And, oh, there's another life. So it's hard to avoid the ones that come up straight behind me. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into our room, and we're going to here's our UFO. Put that right in the middle of the room. And under our settings, we have a speed of 10. We're speed of 5. Hit OK. File, save. Play. So it's slower. Even the photons are slower because it's at a rate of 5 instead of 10. Easier to avoid these rocks. So we're gonna add some bouncing, and we're gonna make the smaller meteors bounce off the larger ones. So we come in here, and we add an event. We're going to add a collision event between our large and our medium object. And we want a bounce. And we want the large meteor is going to continue to, we're going to have it on all objects, bounces off all objects. And we're going to keep this at not precisely. We're going to hit OK. Then we're going to add an event for a collision with the small meteors, and it's going to be the same thing. We hit OK, and we hit OK. File, save. We can go ahead and play this and see how our interactions between the large boulders and the smaller ones. So there's a large meteor. Let's see if it collides with anything. There, they bounce off. They bounce off the larger meteors. Oh, the big meteors keep on going. So now that the meteors bounce off each other, now that the meteors bounce off the large meteors, we're going to modify this so that when objects smash into each other, they break into smaller pieces. So we'll start by opening the large meteor, and we have a collision between the large meteor and another large meteor. We're going to destroy self. And then we're going to create random objects, and we're going to select relative so that they appear 0, 0 to the self, to the large, where the large meteor was. And we're going to make smaller objects. So we have medium, 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 or small. Hit OK. So this is, so when these two large objects collide with each other, you will create for each of the large objects one instant of either a medium or a small with 3 parts medium and 1 part small. But we want each to break into at least 2 pieces. So we're going to create medium, medium, small, or maybe stay as a large object. All right, this is a little different than what it says in the book, and relative to our continued action. And something we can also do is we can actually put in that a large might break into 3 pieces, but only has a slight chance of a smaller piece, and then maybe no object, no object, no object, and then the relative location again. So more than likely, each large meteor will break into only 2 pieces, but it might randomly have another third small piece. And then we hit OK. We can file save. And we can test this. To see if any large meteors. Oh, there he goes. 2 large meteors broke into each other and made 2 little pieces there. Bouncing off the other pieces. And they break into each other up there. So it works great. So now we're going to do this with the with the other objects. So we're gonna do this with adding more collisions between the other objects. So let's come in here and we look and we have when a large meteor collides with a large meteor of the same size, it breaks into pieces. But when it collides with a medium, the medium bounces off. And when it collides with a small, the small bounces off. So now let's go to our medium object, and let's add a collision. So when a medium collides with a medium object, we're going to have this destroying the instant self, okay? And we're going to have the creation of all small objects here. And the relative, okay? And we'll have the creation of small objects or no objects, relative, okay? When they collide into each other. And then when we have a collision with a small meteor, we're going to have the small meteor bounce off all objects. And we hit OK. And then we hit OK. And then with our small meteors, we're going to have a collision between small. We're just going to have them bounce off each other. We'll change that to precisely. Right. File, save. Let's test our movie. I think there's a collision coming. There we go. So we can see there's a lot going on here. This two mediums just bounced into each other and made three rocks. So this looks great. So this is exactly what we want it to look like with all our collisions taking place. So now we want to come over here with the UFO movement, and we want to allow it to go up and down with vertical speeds. So we click on our UFO, and we have no key left, right. We're going to add a keyboard event for our up. So we're going to do the same thing here. We had a direction. Okay, so we're going to do up. We're going to move this over, and we want this to go up with, I think it's a speed of 8. Hit OK. Let's go back to our, see what this was. Speed of 15. Okay, so up with a speed of 15. And we want to add an event, a keyboard event, down, and we could use horizontal speeds, vertical speeds, or just this pattern. This is easy enough. Down with a speed of 15. Okay. So now when we have our UFO object, we have the keys. We have up, down, left, right, and they all have a speed of 15. Hit OK, file, save. Then we test it. So you can see we go up and down and left and right and go all over the place. But when we're shooting, we still only shoot upwards. And what we want to do next is we want to, when a photon, instead of destroying the instant right away, we're going to want to split the meteors just like we did when they collided with each other. So we'll go ahead and we have object photon. We have the same thing here. We have create an instant, destroy an instant, destroy the other instant, set the score to 5. So we can create instance. So this is with a large meteor, so we can have it do medium or small. And we want it to break into 2 parts. So we also have medium or small. Relative. And then we also can do like we did before where we have maybe the possibility of another small chunk coming out. So we have all these when we shoot a large with a small. And then with the medium, oh wait, this is a, sorry, photon, object photon. We have the medium one. We're also going to come in here and we have that it becomes a small one, relative, and then we'll have a possibility that it might break into maybe 2 small ones, not as close, relative. And let's go back. So this one is a possible that it breaks into 3 small pieces. This is, let's change this into no object, and then 2 chances that it's a small object. 1 chance it's a medium object. All right. And then we'll leave this the same, that it's most likely, we could do, yeah, we'll leave it just like that. That's fine. Okay, so we can mix these up any way we want. So when the photon hits a small one, it's just going to destroy it. That's fine. But when it hits a medium one, there's a chance that it might have 1 small object or maybe 2 small objects. And if it's a large one, it's a chance that it might be medium and 3 small objects, or a medium and 2 small objects, or a medium and just 1 small object. There's a lot of different variables we can do in there. Hit OK. So let's do File, Save, and then let's test this out. Where that guy's way over there. So that brought us into a bunch of pieces. So you can see that when we hit the, oh, we got killed 3 times. When we hit the larger objects, they turn into smaller ones, and that works just fine. So that's splitting the meteors with photons. So we have that. And we did it a little bit different than just creating instances. We had randomness so that it's not the same every time. So it's a little bit different than what's in the book. And now we're going to change the blasting direction. All right, so now we're going to get rid of this space bar that we were using just to shoot upwards, and we're going to have a direction that the photon can move in any of the 4 directions that we set here. So we're doing a blasting direction. So let's come over here, and the first thing we want is with our photon, we want to get rid of this set speed. So we're going to delete that, and we're going to delete the create event that has a set speed. So we hit OK there, and then under UFO we'd had pressed the space bar to create the object. So we're going to delete that, and we're going to delete our space bar. Delete event. We're going to add event, and we're going to use our key press. And under letters, the first letter that we're going to pick is A. And we're going to have a create with motion. Okay? So the object we're going to create is an object photon. And we're going to have it relative XY direction, and we're going to have the speed to be 40. And we're going to have the direction to be 180. And that means that it's going to go to the left. 180 degrees goes to the left. So we hit OK for that. And then we're going to add an event, and it's going to be a key press. And we're going to have the letter D, letters D. We're going to want this one to go create a photon, relative, speed of 40. And we're going to want this to go to the right, and right is 0 degrees. So you're looking at a graph. You have 0 degrees is to the right, 90 degrees is up, 180 degrees is to the left, and 270 degrees is down. So we're using that system here. So we hit OK. And then we're going to add an event and a key press. We're going to add the letter W. And we're going to have a position here with our photon, speed of 40, relative to our UFO. And our direction here is going to be 90 degrees, that's up. And then we're going to add an event, the letter S. We're going to create moving, our object photon, speed of 40, relative to the UFO, and 270 degrees is down. And then hit OK. And then we hit OK, and we hit File Save, and let's test this out. So S is down, A is to the left, D is to the right, W is up. So we can fire in 4 directions. We could move our we can fire all different directions. Okay. So that is our firing in 4 directions. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to tune it up. And of course, you can do this yourself. You can change the room speed, update your title frame, save your work, add sounds, different sounds. You want to add sounds, background music, all the rest of it. And then save it. And that is the end of your upgrade, Meteor's upgrade for lesson 6.